Well, if you recall, we were doing our last video about creating fully interactive model. One challenge, actually, or one problem with that kind of setup is that we have to figure out exactly, you know, intercepts and slopes are in other provinces than the omitted category of province. Right? So I have to do a lot of additional computation, and sometimes user, say, can we have a setup so that we can directly get those intercepts and slopes for their corresponding provinces for each one of them? Yes, we can do that. So here is how we set up the model, right? Linear regression model. The formula is the dependent variable here. Again, income tilde 0. A 0 here means, well, we're going to drop the intercept. Okay? We're not going to estimate intercept. When we drop that intercept, we can reintroduce all binary indicators binary indicators for all dummy variables for all provinces. You'll say, well, why we can do that? Because we got to drop one, right? There is this requirement of full rank, right, of the X matrix. Okay? So usually, if we include all, the binary indicators for all provinces, but it's for all the value categories of that indicator variable and intercept. What problem do we have? Well, the matrix, the estimation matrix, the X matrix, does not have full rank. That is, some of the columns are linearly dependent on some of other columns. Okay, but in this case, after we drop intercept, we can have dummy variables for all provinces, and we won't have that problem, that is lack of full rank. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And same thing, we're going to include this indicator variable. And then we have this interaction between the province and education, omitting the main effect for education. Yeah. So every interaction here, interaction term, actually provides the parameter estimate of slope for corresponding provinces. So let's run this line and see what happens. Okay. So we can check out the results more closely. So if you recall, in our last video, after we run the model, we have intercept here. It disappears, and now we have additional slope. Dummy coefficient for Anhui, if you recall, right? I didn't have that dummy coding there, right? I was talking about Anhui, but the spelling wasn't there. Nothing was there about Anhui. But now we have intercept for Anhui. Then we have intercept for Beijing. We have intercept for Chongqing, for every single province of these 28 provinces. Also, we don't have education, right? If you recall, we have a separate line row, for the education variable. And that education variable or coefficient provides the estimate of the coefficient of education for particularly Anhui province. And we don't have that anymore. We just have that direct estimate here for Anhui, for Beijing, for Chongqing, for Fujian, for Gansu, and for all 28 provinces, right? So this is very nice. We don't have to do adding or subtraction. And also, adding a bit layer of complication is that if we add two estimates, it adds additional layer of complexity for computing standard errors, right? Although it's not that complicated, but um, it can add a bit of hassle for complication. So to recap, here we use 0. Sometimes we can use -1 here to replace 0. They do the same thing. Plus the indicator variable and interaction between indicator variable and that continuous variable. What this gonna spit out would be intercept for all categories in the indicator variable. In this case, with all provinces, right? And then interaction between different categories and education in this case, right? And actually, it gives us what the coefficient for education for every single level of value of that indicator variable. Okay, kind of minimizing all the hassle like we did last time.